This is Fnaf, one of the most famous horror games ever made, with thousands of fun games like Five Nights at Candy's, Juniors or The Joy of Creation. And this is Gamemaker, a famous 2D engine that made possible games like Undertale and Deltarune. And this is me, a complete Italian idiot with the dumbest idea ever, making a complete Fnaf fan game in just 100 days. But there is a problem. I don't know anything about coding and I have a limited amount of time to finish this project. Will I be able to complete the challenge? Let's find out. Let's start with the idea. I didn't want to just copy Fnaf, so I decided to build my own universe with a completely different lore and brand new animatronics. But wait, how am I supposed to create 3D animatronics if I have never done it before? It's simple. Blender. The free 3D software that literally just won an Oscar with the movie Flow and made possible almost every modern 3D game. But wait, what's the plan? This step 1 was simple, creating the lore, but it's not something that I can show you right now. So for that, you have to wait. So let's move on to step 2, making the animatronics. My goal was simple. Open Blender, create a terrifying creature, and then I close it. I just spent 2 hours staring at a grey cube and I wasn't able to make nothing. So I decided to watch a tutorial, but that wasn't a great idea. So here we are into step 3, actually making the animatronics. So I actually spent hours fighting with the controls, clicking random things, and the result of my hard work was this. But hey, I couldn't give up, so I kept practicing, destroying my sleep schedule, and after 7 days, I actually made a decent animatronic. But wait, why don't you make it furry? So how hard can it be to add some hair in Blender? I clicked the air particle feature and suddenly my PC started making PS4 noises. I seriously thought my graphic card was going to melt and fly away, honestly. Blender was freezing, but after a few crashes, it finally loaded. I made my first prototype and it was actually looking promising. It wasn't perfect, but it had the vibe I was looking for, so I didn't stop. I started improving the design little by little, and now, exactly 14 days from the start of this insane challenge, I made this. Its name is Electro, but I bet you can find a better name in the comments. But now I have to make the others. So the very next day I started making another character. I wanted a different version of this animatronic, and after hours of work I made this. But it wasn't scary enough, so I didn't give up. The next day I opened Blender again, changed the proportion and made a second version. That was even worse than the first version. But I tried again, and just 1 day later I made this version, which is still not perfect, but I can work with that. So it was time for the last animatronic on the list. I can't say that much, but this is the most important animatronic of the game. But now it was time for the most stressful part of the development, which is A, the code, B, the map, or C, the main menu. Of course it's option D, the name. I spent hours staring at the wall trying to come up with a good title, but it was completely useless. I couldn't find anything interesting, so please suggest a cool name in the comments. I will read every single one of them. Now let's move on to the real work, the map. Since I'm the perfect Italian stereotype, my father actually owns a pizzeria, so I decided to base the layout of the map entirely on his restaurant. To understand the space and get the proportion right before moving to a 3D software, I decided to use a very accessible and professional 3D engine, Minecraft, of course, right? I mean, I guess it's right, but I don't know. I recreated the main dining area, the kitchen, the hallways, and the security office block by block. But planning out the layout with the blocks is easy. Now I had to translate the entire structure into Blender. I started defining the 3D layout, placing the walls and building the rooms based on my Minecraft blueprint. But translating blocks into realistic 3D dimension is a completely different story. I quickly realized that I definitely messed up the proportion. Corridors corridors were too wide, like if someone stretched out the old map. At this point, it was day 22, the day I discovered BlenderKit. I really have to give them a big shout out to the creator. It's not a sponsorship, but this plugin literally saved my life. It's free for the most part and gives you access to a huge library of textures, scenes and meshes. And for those who don't know what a mesh is, basically this cube is a mesh, and also this entire house. And with BlenderKit you can simply click and drag them directly into your project. Basically it's just any 3D object inside the software. If you want to get into 3D modeling, this plugin is pure gold. So thanks to BlenderKit I was able to add way more details and realism to the map, and this is the result. These are the cameras, the main hallway, the kitchen, the dining area, the stage, the bar, the second hallway and the 2 service hallways. Every single room is red except for the one crucial place, the security office. To fix this, I decided to build the office in a completely separate project. Why? To avoid overheating and melting my computer every single time I needed to render the room. I started creating a simple setup. I defined the walls, adjusted the dimension and added an old classic CRT monitor on my desk. This was my very first version, but it had a huge issue. Everything looked fake, like plastic, and the atmosphere was completely wrong. So I went back to work. I completely reworked the materials and fixed the texture to give every surface a dusty, realistic, worn out look. This fog is a lifesaver because it naturally covers the dark, empty parts of the room while making it look creepy. And of course, I had to add the ultimate detail, loose cables hanging from the ceiling. Let's be honest, without random wires hanging everywhere, it's simply not a real Fnaf office. After adjusting the light, this is the final result. I also made the main menu scene with the old version of Electro. It's not that good because it was actually one of the first things I did in Blender. I surely need to rework almost everything and probably just delete the scene and make a new one. But for now, let's skip to the coding part. Nah, just kidding. This video is just a recap of the first month of the challenge, so don't forget to join my Discord. You'll find it in the description, and subscribe to be part of this insane journey. Thank you for watching.